Hello YouTube, my name is Nero. Today we have some more Fallout 4. Here we are inside Good Neighbor, about to head inside a place known as the Memory Den. Now what we're going to do here is we are going to basically look through Kellogg's memories as if we were actually there. Now the thing about this place is I'm not going to be able to talk as much in this episode. There is going to be a lot of dialogue, a lot of lore going on. And I think that's okay. I enjoy episodes like that. One, because I get to sit back and chill a little bit. But two, I really get to soak in the story. You get to see some stuff from the NCR. And you get to see stuff from Kellogg's perspective, which of course is very interesting. So we have just entered and Piper is right there behind us. And I think Nick Valentine went ahead.
Well, Mr. Valentine, I thought you had forgotten about little old me.
May have walked out of the den, Irma, but I'd never walk out on you.
Amari's downstairs, you big flirt.
What's interesting about this lady, who reminds me a lot of Miss Kitty, I would like to say. But, the TV's not even on.
She's downstairs.
Thank you, but I thought that she would have that, like that, please stand by Fallout thing right there, but apparently not. Let's keep on going. I'll lead the way, Nick, since if I were to follow you, we'd be here all day.
Dr. Amari?
Yes, I take it this isn't a social call.
He's coming. Eventually. There he is. I hope I can just take stuff and they're like, yeah, it's fine, whatever. You're the one that can extract memories.
You're the one who can extract memories from a brain, right?
Normally, we only allow our clients to experience their own memories. Now, what's this all about?
We need a deep dig, Amari, but it's not going to be easy. The perp, Kellogg, is already cold on the floor.
Are you two mad? Putting aside the fact that you're asking me to defile a corpse, you do realize that the memory simulators require intact, living brains to function.
Well, we can work around that probably, but I want her outfit. I want the Vault Tech lab coat. Now, did she work for Vault Tech? I don't know. Is this the only lab coat they have in the game, therefore they had to give it to her? I don't know, but she definitely has the Vault Tech symbol on there.
Please. Nick told me you're the only one who can make this work.
This dead brain had inside knowledge of the Institute, Amari. The biggest scientific secret of the Commonwealth. You need this, and so do we.
Fine. I'll take a look. But no guarantees. Do you have it with you?
Well, sort of. Could you say that? Could you say it like Dr. Frankenstein? Or fetch me the brain. Part of me wants to say that, but does not fit my character whatsoever. So
Here's what I could find.
What's this? This isn't a brain. This is... Wait.
Looks like a shrimp.
That's the hippocampus. And this thing attached to it? A neural interface?
Those circuits look awfully familiar.
I'm not surprised. From what I've seen, all Institute technology has a similar architecture.
Go on, Doctor.
Mr. Valentine is an older generation synth. But Institute technology being what it is, the brain implant could fit him. But that's an incredible risk to take. We're talking about wiring something to his brain.
Don't worry about me, Amari. I'm well past the warranty date anyway.
it bothers me when he talks because it looks like part of his face is about like there's a little tiny like stretch of skin on his bottom right hand side of his face. It might go back and talk to him in a moment here. It looks like if it could just rip off and his face would start dangling. It really does bother me. I don't know what we could do to fix that because it's his face. How do you just repatch that up? Right here. It's right over there. It's going to bother you if you guys see it.
Just don't damage that brain, you two. I need it.
Trust me, Amari's hands are the safest place a brain can be.
Whenever you're ready,
It seems like a little bit of a rude way to say it.
just sit down.
If I start cackling like an old grizzled mercenary, pull me out, okay?
Let's see here.
Now, there's an interesting
I need
twist
you to
with
keep
this.
Talking to me, Mr. Valentine. Any slight change in your cognitive functions could be dire. Are you feeling any different?
There's a lot of flashes. Static. I can't make sense of any of it, Doc.
That's what I was afraid of. The mnemonic impressions are encoded, It appears the Institute has one last failsafe. There's a lock on the memories in the implant.
Okay. Is it gonna be okay?
Is Nick gonna be okay?
Yes, the connections appear to be stable. Hopefully, it'll be as simple as unplugging the implant once we're done. But that doesn't get around the current problem. The memory encryption is too strong for a single mind. But what if we use two? We load both you and Mr. Valentine into the memory loungers. Run your cognitive functions in parallel. He'll act as a host, while your consciousness drives through whatever memories we can find.
Sounds like fun.
Any idea of what I'm gonna see in there?
I have no clue. But considering we only have a single piece of the medial temporal lobe and not the whole brain, I doubt it'll be cohesive.
All right, let's get started.
Just sit down over there and keep your fingers crossed.
Now, something is going to happen to Nick as a result of this, but I never actually pursued it whatsoever. Like, in all of my playthroughs, which is basically one, I suppose, that my Melee playthrough as well, I didn't really do anything with it. After we were done with this, I never talked to Nick Valentine again. I'm going to talk to Nick Valentine again in this playthrough, because I've never done that, and I want to see where that goes, honestly, because it's going to be pretty interesting if you guys haven't seen it before. So let's go ahead and take a squat in here, which actually looks relatively comfortable. Now, this would be kind of a cool little gaming area right here, minus the fact that it's airtight for some reason, but having a nice chair where the TV's drop down in front of you that way, kind of neat.
Initiating brainwave migration between the transplant and the host. Mnemonic activity coming from the transplant. It's degenerated, but it's there. We're going to load you into the strongest memories we can find. They might not be stable. Just hold on.
We are about to enter some of Kellogg's memories, which involves a lot of Kellogg talking. So once again, not going to be a lot for me this episode, but lots of lore, lots of cool stuff happening. And very bright lights.
Ah, good. The simulation appears to be working, although the memories are quite fragmentary. I'll try to step you through the intact memories and hope we find one that gives us some clue to the Institute's location.
Yeah, like this. Okay, so now we actually have a path.
This is the earliest intact memory I can find.
I wonder if you can fall off. I don't want to try, because I imagine I'll just die if I do. Screw it. This playthrough's about trying to... Oh, never mind. You can't actually fall off even if you wanted to.
Remember, you are experiencing these memories as Kellogg. This may prove disorienting at first.
Kind of like VR, but VR as Kellogg. Now, if you're a Fallout New Vegas fan, I believe this is kind of like a cool thing, because they're going to mention the NCR here.
And that makes it official, folks. The final vote count...
Turn down the goddamn radio! I'm trying to sleep!
New California Republic. All 5 states have now signed on, which means that as of this moment, we are all citizens of the new California Republic. I'm sure that's going to take some getting used to for a lot of people.
What a joke.
What's it mean, Mom?
Nothing, Connie. People like to talk and hope someone else is going to keep them safe.
Teacher at school said the NCR would bring back the good old days, like before the big war.
Don't you listen to that twaddle. I'm going to stop singing you if that's what they're teaching you.
I'm going out. Where the fuck did you put my boots?
Listen to me, Connie. You take this. You're old enough. You're the man of the family now. It's your job to protect us. Your father's useless, but you won't turn out like him. You're a good boy. And all that on the radio. All useless talk. The only thing that will protect you in this world is that gun in your hands. You need to learn to use it if you're going to survive.
I will, Mom. I promise. I won't let you down.
You've always been my good boy.
This doesn't seem to be what we're looking for.
He looks really weird.
There appears to be another intact memory close to you in temporal sequence. There. Try that one.
I don't want to. Maybe I want to look around here. Now, what's actually kind of cool about this is they're going to reappear here in a moment, and you can actually access more memories and listen to Kellogg. Like,
Dad was either drunk or not around.
I guess he must have run with one of the raider gangs, but I never really knew what he did. Don't know why Mom was with him. Maybe at some point in his life he wasn't a complete asshole.
Goddamn radio! I'm trying to sleep!
I was such a dummy back then. What did I know about how the world worked? I think now she wanted me to kill him. I should have. Instead, I ended up running away. I told myself I wanted to find somewhere out from under the thumb of the NCR and all their rules. But really, I was running from the guilt of not protecting her from Dad. Yeah, it doesn't matter now, though.
Damn.
Mom knew how it was. She wasn't soft, but she loved me in her way. And she protected me from Dad. That cost her more than a few beatings. I never knew what happened to her after I left. I didn't want to know. Not then.
So he never found out what happened to his mom. Doesn't really ever know what happened to his dad. He just kind of ran away and they just kind of disappeared. I wonder, it'd be neat if they were somehow tied into the other games somehow. I don't know if they are. I doubt that they are.
What?
But it's still kind of neat. You get to see him back at the NCR and stuff like that. Eventually made his way to the Commonwealth, I would assume. I think we're going to learn more about that as we continue on here. This is him and I think his girlfriend or wife.
It's gonna be fine. You'll see.
But we don't know anybody here. And now, with the baby?
Come on, Sarah. You've got to give it a chance. I finally got steady work with a good outfit. Nothing like that in the NCR these days.
No, I'm not saying this was a mistake. I'm just... Are you sure these guys know what they're doing? They seem kind of green.
I know. But that's where I come in. Just wait. In a few years, I'll be running my own crew. As soon as I make the connections I need. Then I can give you anything you want. And little Mary, too.
I never worried about you before. Must be my mama instincts kicking in. Who knew I had those, huh?
Come on, you're great with her. And you don't need to worry about me. Most of it's just running security for the she. A lot of standing around looking tough.
Well, they sure picked the right person for that job.
Listen, it's gonna be great here. See this? This is what's gonna keep you and Mary safe. I promise.
I know, Connie. I'm sure we're gonna be really happy here.
We are. You'll see. That's okay. I got it.
Let's keep looking. I'll connect you to the next intact memory.
Aw. Alright, so he had a wife, or at least girlfriend. I don't think they ever said wife. Let's learn more about her.
I was the worst thing that ever happened to her. If she'd never met me, she'd have stayed in the hub, maybe hooked up with someone who didn't kill people for a living. Probably been happier than she was with me. Almost certainly lived longer.
I just realized the Golden Gate Bridge is on the outside there.
Fine.
I think the
You'll
hub's
see.
part of New Vegas, maybe?
The thing about happiness
Probably.
is you only know you had it when it's gone. I mean, you may think to yourself that you're happy, but you don't really believe it. Focus on the petty bullshit or next job or whatever. It's only looking back, by comparison with what comes after, that you really understand that's what happiness felt like.
But we
So he
don't
looks
know
back at this
anybody
time as
here.
his only real happy
No.
time.
Whatever made me think that a guy like me should have a daughter? No, I never deserved her. Not for 1 second.
With the baby?
That's all he says about the
Sarah, you
baby.
gotta give it a chance.
So Sarah was his wife. She apparently died at some point. He's aware that she died. He didn't say much about his daughter, besides he didn't deserve her, not for a second. Huh. I'm sure I've heard of the hub before. That's definitely like a city, I think, from an older Fallout game that I've never played, but I've heard of it before.
How did you think this was gonna end, Kellogg? You thought you could just fuck with us, and we wouldn't fuck with you? Just so you know, they died like dogs. And you weren't there to help them.
I found another memory to try. I'll connect you.
I want to know who these people are. So that's what happened to his family. Let's wait for this to pop up again. Can I possibly like access the memory of him? Probably not.
How did you think this was gonna end, Kellogg?
No, they're not gonna let me know.
You thought you could just fuck with us, and we wouldn't fuck with you?
Well, that's really unfortunate. I want to learn more about that. That definitely didn't sound like the Institute. Did it? I don't think it did. It didn't sound really like the Institute at all. It sounded like Raiders or someone else. He did kill people for a living, and they potentially, you know, found his family. Someone that he betrayed or rubbed the wrong way. They killed his family. Like dogs.
Mind if we sit down?
Suit yourself.
So, I hear you'll take care of people's problems. Is that right?
If you pay me.
Oh, we'll pay you. And you'll do this all by yourself?
That's right.
We pay you when the job is done. Is that okay?
That's the way you want to do it? So who do you want dead?
Well, it's like this. There's his family. Lives down the creek a ways.
Well, we seem to be getting closer. Try this next one.
I want to learn about this family that lives down the creek a ways. I want to, you can always try and learn more from these memories. We're gonna see if I can talk to, like, I don't know, the bartender.
There's always someone who wanted someone else dead. Sometimes just roughed up, but dead was usually what they wanted. Sometimes they thought they could cheat me. That was usually only when I first arrived somewhere. Didn't matter to me. They just took it as part of the job. A little extra thrown in for free. I always got paid in the end. One way or another.
Mind if...
I don't remember much from that time. It all kinda blends together. There was almost always a bar, though. That's universal.
It's probably like, oh.
I didn't care where I was going. Ended up mostly wandering east. Getting as far away from San Francisco as I could, maybe. Suit yourself.
All right, so he kept heading east, doing jobs like that. Apparently, there's his family down the creek a ways. Let's continue on here. Ooh, Institute, I believe.
Mr. Kellogg, I'm glad you decided to meet with me.
So, you're with the Institute. I wanted to see for myself if you really existed.
We do, as you can see.
What do you want?
It's come to my attention that you've been rather disruptive of our operations lately. This must stop.
I do what people pay me to do. If that's a problem for you, I could see only one way out.
And what's that, Mr. Kellogg?
If I'm working for you, there's no more problem. From what I hear, you can afford me.
I don't think you fully understand the situation you're in.
I think I do.
Very well. B-748, initiate.
Systems offline.
What a badass. What a badass.
Impressive. We may have something to talk about after all.
Getting warmer.
I mean, he could kill her dead.
Tell us something.
He could kill her dead right there and now.
Ah, there's one that looks mostly intact. Connecting now.
I mean, I'm fine with that. Definitely always happy to... Oh, that's the vault. That's Vault 111. I want to learn more about this institute, though, with them. Or with Kellogg, rather.
Mr. Kellogg.
I finally ended up in the Commonwealth. I kinda ran out of road. Plus, I'd come to terms with life. I wasn't gonna be stupid enough to get mixed up with caring about other people again. It was just me against the world. And the world had it coming. You heard all sorts of rumors about the Institute. But I figured they were just a convenient boogeyman for anything bad that ever happened. They were real, all right. They didn't know anything about operating on the surface. Relied on their synths for everything. They had the resources I needed, and I had the expertise they needed. Turned into a permanent arrangement, which suited me just fine.
I'm glad you decided.
The first synths weren't all that impressive. I'm good, but I'm not that good. But the Institute could always make more, and kept making them better each time. They still give me the creeps, but you have to get used to them if you want to work with the Institute.
To meet with me.
Yeah, those early synths were, they were pretty rough. I think, to say the least. They were pretty rough. Let's continue on here.
Manual override initiated. Cryogenic stasis suspended.
Vault computers are still working. That's good. Checking through the logs. Hopefully it's all...
Just find it.
Pod C6. Down the hall near the end.
So everybody is still alive at this point. This is actually interesting. It's something I did not know until I'd recently watched the video. But I'm going to explain it to you guys here in a moment after this, of course. So everyone's still alive here in Vault 111. They're all kind of like waking up. Because they had to unfreeze us, basically.
This is the one. Here.
Open it.
Is it over?
Almost. Everything's gonna be fine.
Okay?
Come here.
No.
Come here, baby.
No. I've got him.
Let the boy go. I'm only gonna tell you once.
I'm not giving you Sean!
God
Again,
damn
don't know
it.
how the baby's not deaf.
Get the kid out of here and let's go. At least we still have the backup.
Cryogenic sequence reinitialized.
So, of course, we just re-witnessed, like, one of the first things from the
Almost
game.
finished, Kellogg. I just need to confirm. Come on. All right, we're good.
I'm sorry you had to go through that again. I found another intact memory. Whenever you're ready.
Where could the other one be? Oh, okay, I remember it kind of now. Now, I want to show you guys, we gotta wait for this to boot up again. There's some interesting stuff here. If you don't pay attention to it, you might have actually forgotten or not noticed it. So let's listen.
I was now the Institute's main operator in the Commonwealth. If they needed something done, they came to me. It wasn't usual for anybody from the Institute to come along on a mission, so this one stood out. They didn't know then who it was we were grabbing from the vault. Of course, neither did they. Not really.
All right.
The eggheads never liked taking orders from a dirty, contaminated degenerate like me. But they needed me, and I made sure they knew it.
Wait for it. One of these is gonna tell it.
Eggheads never liked taking
Nope, all right.
orders from a... I never knew why we didn't just refreeze the rest of them. But we had our orders. I guess the old man didn't want so many loose ends. Too bad he left alive the one person he shouldn't have.
which was,
All
of course,
computers are
me.
still working.
But
That's
ladies
good.
and gentlemen, for some reason, I'm definitely noticing some FPS drops here, which makes no sense. But, I mean, Fallout 4 tends to have these memory leaks happening all the time. I get it, memory leaks. What's interesting about that, and of course, you guys know the leader of the... I'm not going to spoil it for people that don't, haven't seen it yet, or actually, watching the playthrough, but those of you guys know what I'm talking about. The leader of the Institute ordered all those people dead. They could have just refroze all of them just like me, and then one day we all would have thawed out, and we all would have resurfaced together, and everything that happened to me basically would have happened to pretty much everybody that was in the vault, everybody that was there for Sanctuary Hills. And what's interesting is they killed everybody in there, and they said maybe they didn't want any more loose ends, but what's really interesting about that is they didn't want maybe witnesses and stuff like that. But there were other rooms where they also turned them off as well. All these citizens from Vault 111 that were just killed because they took away all the life support basically of these cryostasis chamber things that we were in. So they intentionally killed off every last one of them, even the ones that could not have possibly been a witness to anything. But yeah, and that was all ordered by the Institute. So something to bear in mind. Everyone in there could have lived and exited the vault when I did. Whenever I did, when the game first started. But no, the Institute literally killed all of them. So let's continue on.
Is that your son? This appears to be a very recent memory. So, good news, I think.
Oh boy. Piper's really done it this time. I mean, I'm not saying she's right, but Mayor, he's gonna be really mad this time. I probably shouldn't have even
Kellogg.
said anything.
It's okay. One of these days, you're gonna get your head blown off just barging in here like that.
Minimizing my exposure to civilians is a priority.
Forget I said anything. So what's the big crisis this time?
New orders for you. One of our scientists has left the Institute.
Left? As in?
He's gone rogue. Name's Dr. Brian Virgil. We know he's hiding somewhere in the glowing sea. Here's his file.
Wow. Some heads are gonna roll for this. Capture and return, or just elimination?
Elimination. He was working on a highly classified program.
No kidding. One of the top bioscience boys? Damn. So, I guess you're taking the kid back with you.
Affirmative. Your only mission is to locate and eliminate Virgil.
You're taking me home to my father?
Yes. Stand next to me and hold still.
Okay.
Imagine being the character here. You finally see your son, who's a ginger, who looks way too tan. The shadowing is really weird in here. Like, their faces, look, it happened on Kellogg as well.
Ready to relay with Sean.
Their faces are way darker than they should be.
I hope I see you again soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Teleportation. Now it all makes sense. Nobody's found the entrance to the Institute because there is no entrance. Let me pull you out of there as soon as you're ready.
I'll be ready in a moment. We've gone this far. We're going to learn everything else there is to learn. That's how we exit the memory. It's kind of cool how the TV turns on. I would like to see what else we can see in here.
This whole setup in Diamond City was part of some elaborate plan of the old man's. Seems obvious now that we were bait for our friend from the vault. Timing couldn't have been an accident. It's not how the old man works. I wonder if he outsmarted me in the end. Another loose end tied up.
Well, we definitely can talk to Sean.
Wasn't my idea to settle down with the kid in the middle of Diamond City. I thought it was a terrible idea, actually. But it was one of the old man's pet projects, so here we were. Me and the kid. Like a happy little family. I ended up kind of liking it. A reminder of what my life might have been if things had turned out differently. But there's no going back. I knew it was just temporary. It'd be back to normal business before too long.
It's interesting is he's reading surgical journals, whereas, you know, he read Kronak the Barbarian and stuff like that when he was a kid. I suppose that's pretty much everything for in here, unless there's randomly something up top, which there is not. I am tanking FPS for some reason. Let's go ahead and exit the memory lounger and see. Oh, actually, it's going to be pretty much the end of it here. But some stuff's going to happen. I'm very excited about it. I'm telling you guys. Just in case, we're going to do a quick save.
Slow movements, okay? I don't know what kind of side effects the procedure might have had. No one's ever done this before. How do you feel?
I imagine pretty dizzy. Next time I have to watch someone's life story, I want popcorn. I have this burning feeling in my skull. It's like it's on fire. I'm okay, doctor.
Next time I have to watch someone's life story, I want popcorn.
Well, if you're cognizant enough to joke, I think we can safely say that you're out of critical condition. Are you ready to talk about what happened in there?
Yeah, I suppose. Wow, there's lots to say here.
I saw Kellogg's life. The man who ruined my family. The man I killed.
That's right. He was a human being just like the rest of us. And he had reasons for being what he was, however cruel. How does that make you feel?
It makes me hate the character of Kellogg less, and I'm very interested to learn more about the character of Kellogg, which I think we're going to be able to do. It wasn't all his fault. I can't blame him. He convinced me that I did the right thing. He was a rabid dog and needed to be put down. Does it matter how I feel?
I'm not sure, Doctor.
I don't know if there's any right way to feel. We're getting off track. The important thing is that we discovered the Institute's greatest secret, teleportation. The only question is, what do we do now?
The Dr. Kellogg was supposed to track down.
That scientist Kellogg was supposed to track down. Virgil. We need to find him.
You're right. A rogue Institute scientist could answer all kinds of questions. Where did the memory say he was? The glowing sea? That doesn't make sense. No one goes there. Not even if they were desperate.
My character wouldn't know anything about the glowing sea, so we're going to ask about that.
What makes the glowing sea so dangerous?
The name says it all. Radiation. So much that nothing there could possibly live. Nothing pleasant. Navigating radioactive hazards is nothing new. But the glowing sea can kill a man in seconds. That's why it doesn't make sense. Virgil fleeing into that hell. The exposure alone.
If we need to find Virgil, then I'm going after him.
If you're going to go, be prepared. You'll need some way to combat the radiation there. It's called the glowing sea for a reason.
Well, I have some of that fancy power armor, and that will help out a lot. Some Rad-X, of course, will be pretty good. I may actually be able to fit the power armor to even reduce rads even more. You can actually get these things that are called like a hazmat suit, which gives you like 1,000 rad resistance, which is pretty insane.
Take your time.
Oh, I'm going in naked. Fingers crossed it gets...
Oh, I'm going in naked. Fingers crossed I get superpowers.
I know you're joking, but as a doctor, I feel obligated to remind you that unprotected radioactive exposure will only kill you. Dead. D-E-A-D. So be sure you find a way to get through there with your life intact. And good luck. By the way, I unplugged Mr. Valentine first. Removed the implant while you were waking up. He's waiting for you upstairs.
All right. Dangerous Minds is now complete. Is there anything Oh, there's plenty of stuff in here. Rad away. And some Rad-X. It's kind of like saying, hey, if you're heading to the glowing sea, here's some stuff you're probably going to need. Now, let's head upstairs here. Need to talk to your boy, Nick. Where is he? Not back here. Oh, they'll be stealing? Oh, that's a shame. That is a shame.
The memory den's not accepting new clients right now.
Here he is.
Nick.
Hope you got what you were looking for inside my head. I was right. I should have killed you when you were on ice.
That is so freaking creepy. Now, here's the thing. I never did anything with this before. I knew this was going to happen. I knew that Kellogg is, like, talking through Nick. But I never, like, messed around with that. It's kind of like, and it's still Kellogg. It's so creepy. Oh, man. So we're going to...
Is that you?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, you sounded like... No, literally, that was you.
You sounded like Kellogg just then.
Did I? Huh. Amari said there might be some mnemonic impressions left over. Anyway, I feel fine, so let's get going. Or I could head back to Diamond City, since you've got company already.
Oh, no, you're coming with me, Nick. You're coming with me.
Let's get going, Nick.
Been one heck of a ride so far. Let's see where it takes us next.
Yeah, Piper, Sanctuary. The thing about Piper is, like, go back to Diamond City with your freaking sister, man. Go back to Sanctuary. There's actually people there, I guess. Feel bad for her otherwise, hanging out at the truck stop by herself.
Let me ask you something.
Okay.
Okay, ask.
It's just, with everything that's happened with you and your family, it's a whole hell of a lot to process. I wanted to make sure you're holding up all right.
Well, thank you very much, Nick. My family's in tatters. I've been dropped into this place where everything's trying to kill me. You tell me.
Why do you ask?
I just had a hard go with the transition myself. Took me a long damn time to get a feel for this place. Thank goodness I found Diamond City. It's got its flaws, sure, but it beats the hell out of anywhere else in the Commonwealth. Of course, when I took up there back when, people were just as scared of the Institute as they are now. Maybe more. The massacre of the CPG was still pretty fresh in people's minds at that point, and folks were still losing sleep over the broken mask. Plenty of people assumed I was just a saboteur, moving in to melt down the reactor or poison the drinking water. But at the time, they couldn't exactly turn me away.
I don't know what any of this stuff is. I didn't... what?
Massacre of the CPG. What's that?
The Commonwealth Provisional Government. Years back, a group of settlements tried to get together and form a coalition. Every settlement with even a hint of clout sent representatives to try and hash out an agreement. Only the Institute sent a representative of their own, a synth. The man killed every rep at the talks. The Commonwealth Provisional Government was over before it even got off the ground. I took up in town not long after. I was damn lucky they didn't just tell me to scram right then and there.
Jeez.
Broken mask?
This was long before I'd moved to town, but apparently some gentleman type shows up in Diamond City, heads down to Power Noodles. Guess he didn't like the food because he pulled his pistol and opened fire on the folks enjoying theirs. When security finally put enough holes in him to drop him, they say he was full of servos and sprockets, just like yours truly. Seems he malfunctioned, went berserk. It was the first time people realized that synths had stopped looking like me and started looking like them. Considering what these folks went through, I felt real lucky they let me in the front gate at all.
Yeah, we're finally starting getting a backstory for Nick, which I've never actually heard before. But how they, I guess, well, his skin looks like it's very old to me. It looks like he's been, I don't know, like around for a while. Like at one point he maybe did look human.
Why'd they let you in?
Because I'd rescued the mayor's daughter. Gal of about 15. Pride and joy of the mayor back then. Man by the name of Henry Roberts. The young Miss Roberts decided she'd run off with some caravan hand she'd, known for an evening. Turns out the guy was part of a gang of kidnappers. I didn't even know who I was rescuing, just stumbled on a crying girl and 4 toughs. I took her home and the mayor dubbed me a hero, offered me a place in town. Lots of folks protested, said I was a spy, but he wouldn't have it. Taking up in the city was tricky at first, but I never tried to hide what I was, and people seemed to warm to that.
Huh. I'm actually learning everything about Nick, which I never knew. Wow, this is really cool. Was it hard settling in? Why would you stay?
Was it hard settling in?
Well, they sure didn't make it easy. I started off doing the jobs no one else wanted. I got more banged up being Diamond City's handyman than I ever did living out in the ruins. But I guess folks never forgot I rescued the mayor's daughter, so they started coming to me when people went missing. Wife runs off with a new paramour and takes the rent money with her. Talk to the synth. An upset father decides moving him and the kids to Good Neighbor in the dead of night's not the worst damn idea since the bomb. Go get Nick. After a while, the jobs got so backed up, they didn't even ask me to do the handyman stuff anymore. Hell, I was so happy to do it, it was months before I started charging anyone. I never stopped being Nick the Synth, but it was Nick the Detective folks came to see. It was about then that things finally started feeling normal. It took me a long time to realize that home is where you make it. And with some time and effort, this place can be home for you, too. That's a long story, but I hope it helps. Want to get moving? The Commonwealth's not an easy place to travel alone. Nice to have someone watching my back.
I like Nick Valentine. Now we know pretty much his whole story. That's awesome. As he walks into a chair, eventually he'll sit down. But that was pretty freaking cool. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to conclude this relatively long video. I apologize for no video going up yesterday. This was actually originally planned to, but it just ended up being so long that there's no way I could actually edit and render and upload and stuff like that in time. So we had to basically skip a day. But ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys all enjoyed it. I hope it was worth it. Stay tuned for the next episode. What are we going to do in the next episode, do you think? Let's go. The Glowing Sea. Find Virgil in the Glowing Sea. So I guess we're going to grab our power armor and apparently Nick Valentine, and we're going to head down into the Glowing Sea. Now, I would like to take Codsworth with me. I really do miss the guy. But as you guys saw, Kellogg is in here. He's in his head. I want to see where that goes. How about you guys? I personally never messed with it, and this playthrough is all about trying stuff I never did before, so I would love to see how this plays out. I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Drop me a rating. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.
It's all over, but the crowd